Okay, let's continue. In my last video, I stopped at the day 3 of God's wise creative arts. Let's proceed to the next one. After he made the grasses and the herbs available on the surface of the earth, all important question is, how will they survive? What will actually make them to succeed where they are? Because anything that is a living creature has a way it is being sustained. How would these things be sustained? That gave birth to the next creation of God. When he saw all the herbs, all the trees, all of them have appeared, it was that very God that discovered that they needed light, a special light from the that is a special light different from the one he made when he said, "Let there be light" at the inception of creation. This particular light is not only designed to give us light, cause us to see in the midst of darkness, but also does the work of sustaining all those herbs as well as the grasses that has been created. Look at Genesis chapter number 1, verse number 14. And God said, "Let there be lights," plural, not singular. "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let there be signs and for seasons. And let them be for signs and for seasons, and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth." And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also, and God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Look at the wise approach to the art of creation. When those trees were created, yes, we know that there is need for a light that will be dealing with the darkness, but that wasn't the original intent of God here. Those things that have been created, the herbs and the grasses, needed a particular light that has power to do what we call synthesis or photosynthesis of them. It is in the art of photosynthesis that chlorophyll is being produced so that the green plants will be able to produce seeds. That art of photosynthesis is a situation where the tree traps the light, that is the sun rays, and it will now deal with the chlorophyll, in which it will be translated to the ability of the tree to start reproducing or producing fruits, or reproducing fruits. It was sun that has that power. Of course, when we were in secondary school in those days, they gave us some assignments and told us just for you to see how plants cannot survive without sunlight. Plant a seed in a bottle, keep it at the corner of the room, open the window. Where the window that is closer to that bottle, when that very seed started germinating, that seed will be tilting toward that window, because the seed, when it is germinating, cannot survive without sunlight, and it needed sunlight by nature. Do you know that this thing we call instinct, that is both in human being and animal, is also on the trees? The instinct has to do with the way we respond according to the way nature has made it to function within us. Now, when you plant a tree and put it in a darkened place, anywhere light penetrates from, that tree will be tilting toward that to catch up with the light to survive. And God, in his wisdom, knew this and created that light for photosynthesis and production of seeds. This is the level of his wisdom. This is the extent he knows that other gods do not know. And he single-handedly conducted the act of creation sequentially in a very wonderfully designed way as the need arises. This is the fourth day. Permit me to show you what transpired on the fifth day according to the need. Now you have heard what he did on the fourth day. What do you think should be the next thing? Now the trees are there and the light to do the art of photosynthesis has been made available. He also made available moon that would govern the night by providing a very, unharmful light in the night. That particular one, we use it to see, especially in darkened areas. Some of us that are there in the Western world may not understand because you have regular power supply. You don't know even when the night comes, except by the help of clock. But here in Africa, I want you to know that there are places where we don't have electricity in the night. It is the electricity of God in the form of moonlight that lightens our environment. What a wise God. Let's look at the next act of creation. God said, that is verse number 20 of Genesis chapter number 1, and says, and God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that had life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kinds, and every winged fowl after this kind. And God saw that it was good, and God now blessed them and said, be fruitful. Permit me to say this. When God filled the earth with trees and herbs, they were all shining and glittering with greenish attraction. In my own imagination, I think it is time for God to bring man who will be eating those fruits. But that wasn't what he did. He turned his attention to the waters that are empty and said, no, this is a habitation. Some sort of creatures needed to live there. But now it is empty. Now I have filled the surface of the earth. Let me also go and fill the waters as well. Because these places are not meant to be empty. Because the world in its generality was out of shape, doesn't have anything. If you look at what we read in verse number 1, verse number 2, the earth was without form and void. Void simply means empty. So this time around, he don't want any aspect of the earth to be empty or void. And that is why God has created you and have imbued you with a lot of talent. He don't want you to be empty. He don't want you to, move around as an empty non-entity. No, he has loaded you with a lot of gifts. He has loaded you with a lot of talent. He has loaded you with a lot of creativity. Only that you are not, some people are not utilizing their own. And you will sit back and keep envying those who are working hard to develop their creative ability, who are working hard to develop the talents God has placed in them. God doesn't operate with people that are void. God operates with people that are filled. And he don't want to see any part of the earth void. He now said, let aquatic creatures come forth. In my next video, I will tell you more. Call me Pastor Elisha, the rising voice in Africa and the reformer with a difference. Wait for my next video.